Buenos dias. My day is starting the way that every day should start, with an almond milk chai latte. I'm in Sonsonate, which is at the bottom of the Ruta de las Flores. My path takes me into the mountains.
The Ruta de las Flores, or Flower Route, which leads north from here in Sonsonate, is one of El Salvador's most picturesque journeys. A winding 21-mile stretch through the Western Highlands that threads together 5 enchanting colonial towns: Nahuizalco, Salcoatitán, Juayúa, Apaneca, and Concepción de Ataco. Today, I'll visit the first 3. The scenic route earns its name from the explosion of wildflowers that blanket the hillsides, roadsides, and fields in a kaleidoscope of color. Each town offers its own distinct charm, yet they share a timeless beauty. Cobblestone streets, majestic colonial churches, as well as walls adorned with striking murals and vivid street art that celebrate local identity and folklore. Adding a layer of myth and mystery to the Ruta de las Flores is the legend of Atlakaki, a powerful tale that symbolically binds all 5 towns. This enduring story, passed down through generations, weaves resilience and strength into the very fabric of the region, offering a spiritual journey alongside the physical one. This is more than just a scenic drive. The Ruta de las Flores is a window into authentic Salvadoran life. It's a place where nature, history, art, and ancestral traditions flourish in harmony. It's time to get this show on the road. Literally. Before we begin, I want to extend my sincere thanks to some wonderful supporters. Carol, Lauda, and Age 9000. Your kindness and support make this journey possible, and I'm truly grateful. Last week's top comment goes to Ismail. I'm so glad the sense of warmth and positivity came through in the video. Those good vibes are a reflection of the people of Suchitoto themselves. They have been shaped by history, marked by its scars, yet not defined by them. To everyone who continues to share your thoughts, thank you. I read every comment, and they mean more than you know. Please keep them coming. I've started a channel membership. If you're interested, click subscribe and then join for more details.
지친 하루 끝 문득 들려온 너의 목소리 따뜻한 그 말 조용히 피어난 노란 봄 웃는 네 모습을 보면 괜히 심장이 빨라지고 너랑 걷는 이 길 위에 시간이 멈췄으면 해 눈빛 한 번이면 충분해 그 어떤 말보다 우린 깊게 이어져 지금 이 느낌 그대로 계속 바라볼래 조금만 더 이렇게 걷자 지금이 너무 좋아서 이젠 말해도 될 것 같아 널 향한 맘을 내가 먼저 다가가도 돼 그냥 옆에 있고 싶은 거야 I just wanna be close to you 그냥 이대로 자연스럽게 가끔 말 돌려도 한 번쯤은 웃어줘 괜히 해코지는 두번 만들었다 놨다 계속 붙어있고 싶다 바짝 넌 아무렇지 않은 척 그게 헷갈리게 만들어 눈빛 한 번이면 충분해 그 어떤 말보다 우린 깊게 이어져 지금 이 느낌 그대로 계속
Welcome to El Salvador, where they do not believe in having railings of any kind. The story of Atlakaki, which means Indomitable Woman in the Nahuatl language, is one that's very close to my heart.
As always, thank you to Timeless Stories of El Salvador for the inspiration. Long ago, in the shadow of fire and conquest, when the earth trembled from the boots of foreign soldiers, a great warrior named Atlaki rose to defend his people from the invading forces of Pedro de Alvarado. With obsidian blades and undying courage, Atlaki fought until the last breath. But when defeat was certain and capture imminent, he chose neither chains nor a conqueror's sword. Instead, he climbed to the edge of a smoking volcano and leapt. They say his soul was not destroyed, but transformed, becoming fire, stone, and the very spirit of resistance that still courses through these lands.
From his bloodline came a daughter named Atlakaki.
When her mother, a gifted healer, went into labor, terrible pain seized her, worse than any she had cured before. Knowing something was wrong, she made a desperate pilgrimage to Cascada la Golondrinera, a waterfall said to be older than time, whose waters carried the whispers of ancient spirits. She submerged herself and did not rise until Atlakaki emerged into the world, not crying, but laughing with the voice of wind over water. La Golondrinera waterfall is a hidden jewel just beyond the well-trodden tourist path, nestled in the lush landscapes outside the charming town of Nahuizalco. Here, nature unfolds in vibrant abundance, delicate trees swaying in the breeze, the calls of tropical birds echoing through the canopy, and the occasional flutter of wings giving life to the waterfall's poetic name. The cascade plunges more than 130 feet in a silken rush of white water, tumbling into a pool embraced by moss-covered rock and emerald foliage. Cascada la Golondrinera lies at the threshold of Nahuizalco, a town that graces El Salvador's celebrated Ruta de las Flores, where history, tradition, and craftsmanship intertwine beneath the cool mountain air. Perched more than 1,700 feet above sea level, it enjoys the refreshing climate that defines this region of western El Salvador. Its name comes from the Nahuatl language and is often translated as place of the four Izalcos. The word Izalco itself is rooted in ancient terms for obsidian, sand, and dwellings, echoes of a time when language, land, and identity were inseparable. Tradition holds that Nahuizalco was founded by 4 families who journeyed here from neighboring Izalco, though another belief suggests the town once held 4 times the population of its neighbor. Archaeological evidence confirms that the surrounding region has been inhabited by the people since around 900 CE. And even today, traces of that heritage remain visible as some residents continue to wear traditional indigenous dress, preserving customs that have endured for centuries. Home to roughly 40,000 residents, Nahuizalco is laid out in the orderly grid typical of Spanish colonial towns. Its heart centered around Parque Central de Nahuizalco. The town is widely known as a thriving center of craftsmanship, where artisans transform natural materials, tule, wicker, wood, and cotton, into intricate baskets, mats, furniture, and decorative pieces. Along the main roads, small workshops open their doors to passers-by, revealing the patience, skill, and quiet artistry behind each creation. Watching over the town is Iglesia San Juan Bautista, the Church of Saint John the Baptist, a remarkable structure dating to the 17th century and widely regarded as one of the finest examples of colonial architecture in El Salvador. The design reflects the restrained beauty of colonial churches throughout the country, while also echoing architectural influences reminiscent of Mediterranean Byzantine forms. Its whitewashed facade rises in elegant simplicity, flanked by 2 graceful bell towers and crowned by a central clock between them. Inside, the sanctuary glows with centuries of devotion. The ceiling arches overhead like the hull of an ancient wooden ship, its sweeping curve evoking the gentle motion of water. Chandeliers hang from above, casting soft light over rustic cherrywood pews, and a striking floor of red and gray checkered tiles. Here, time seems to slow. In the hush beneath its vaulted ceiling, the church stands not only as a monument of faith and artistry, but as a quiet witness to generations of lives, prayers, and stories that have shaped the soul of Nahuizalco.
No looking back, eyes on the road. Only thinking about where we're supposed to go. Don't have a map, just go with the flow. There's certain things we're not supposed to know. 4 miles, that's all that we have left now. That's all that we had time for. Don't know just where we'll arrive. But you could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. Yeah, we could be alright. You could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. Yeah, we could be alright. But you could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. We could be alright. You could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. We could be alright. We could be alright. We could be alright. We could be alright. We could be alright.
Stepping outside the church, visitors emerge into Parque Central, where a fountain stands quietly amid shaded green spaces. Shops and food stalls line the surrounding streets, and while vendors may approach with friendly offers, the atmosphere remains relaxed and welcoming. Beyond the park, Nahuizalco unfolds in a lively mosaic of color. Buildings painted in vibrant hues, balconies spilling over with flowers, and streets that blend everyday life with centuries of tradition.
Till
In Nahuizalco, past and present exist, side by side. Ancient people traditions, colonial architecture, and the steady rhythm of everyday life continue to shape the town's character. It is a place where artisans keep ancestral skills alive, where history lingers in quiet corners, and where the spirit of the Ruta de las Flores reveals itself, not only in landscapes, but in the people who call this mountain village home. Now, it's time to find the next town on the flower route and continue the story of Atlakaki. Atlakaki grew more than beautiful. She was wise beyond her years, fierce, and gifted in the healing arts. Her mother taught her the secrets of the earth, how to use tea brewed from hummingbird sage to draw out fever, how to mend bones with steamed plantain leaves, how to silence grief with cocoa and copal smoke. But the world was changing. The Spanish conquest pressed further into the highlands. People fled south, into forests, and across the rivers. Atlakaki's mother decided to run and pleaded with her to come. But Atlakaki tried to explain. She had a powerful dream of a tree, a ceiba. She believed a shaman awaited her there. Together, they journeyed through the land, where serpents slithered like living emeralds, and quetzals flashed through the canopy, their feathers shimmering in the same breathtaking hues of green and blue, iridescent like the heart of the jungle. They finally reached the majestic ceiba, so ancient its roots tangled with time. Standing in front, just as she dreamt, was a shaman robed in feathers and silence. He performed a sacred rite beneath the great tree. The shaman revealed that because Atlakaki had been born in the healing waters of La Golondrinera, she was protected by prophecy. So long as she remained on the sacred land of her ancestors, she could not be killed. Atlakaki and her mother shared a tearful goodbye. She made her choice. She would not run. She would never yield. The next village along the Ruta de las Flores lies just beyond Nahuizalco, a short journey through the cool mountain air. And at its entrance waits a quiet gift far more precious than gold, one that has been patiently awaiting your arrival for centuries. In the small plaza at the edge of Salcoatitán stands a ceiba tree, sacred to the region's indigenous cultures and a silent witness to centuries of history since before the town's founding. Towering and ancient, its broad limbs stretch toward the sky, while its deep roots hold fast, anchoring memory and tradition in the heart of the community. Revered by locals and admired by visitors alike, the great tree remains a living symbol of Salcoatitán's enduring spirit.
According to the Mayans, the ceiba tree was sacred because it touched all three planes of existence. Its branches touch the 13 heavens, its trunk is here on our plane of existence, and its roots touch the underworld. The people, P-I-P-I-L, people, adopted parts of that and then built on it themselves. They believe that a soul inhabits the ceiba tree, and if you acknowledge it and speak to it and respect it, then that soul will give you a present. But you have to speak to it in Nahuatl, their language. I think the ceiba tree transcends language. I think that in whatever language you speak to it in, it'll understand it, but I also believe that you don't even have to speak. I believe that its soul sees your soul. This thing is massive, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Just close your eyes, place your hand on the tree, take a deep breath, and exhale. I need no gift. My prayer remains the same. Please bless El Salvador. If you see fit, please bless my journey. You know I had to feed that chucho. It's obligatory. Salcoatitán, whose name in the Nahuatl language is often interpreted as the city of Quetzalcoatl, carries echoes of ancient belief into the present day. Long before the boundaries of modern nations existed, the people journeyed south from what is now Mexico, bringing with them the spiritual traditions of the Aztec world. Here, those beliefs intertwined with those of the Maya and Inca, much like the legend surrounding the sacred ceiba tree. Distinct origins woven together into a single, enduring cultural tapestry. Perched at nearly 3,500 feet above sea level, Salcoatitán enjoys a cool, refreshing climate year-round. A gentle reprieve from the heat that characterizes much of El Salvador. Home to just over 7,500 residents, the town unfolds at an unhurried pace, inviting visitors to linger rather than pass through. A stroll through Parque Central reveals much about this unique village. Art is central to its identity. Colorful mosaic murals adorn its streets, each piece carefully crafted through techniques that the town proudly preserves and shares. Alongside them, bursts of vibrant flowers spill from planters, balconies, and garden corners, softening the stone and color with living beauty. Small galleries and workshops offer further glimpses into the creative spirit that defines this community. Facing Parque Central stands a small, humble colonial church dating to the early 19th century, constructed of calicanto, tile, and sturdy stone and brick that speak to its enduring strength. Its whitewashed facade is quietly elegant, accented with tiles that echo the patterns found throughout the park, and windows adorned with tiled designs that gently mimic the effect of stained glass. Stepping inside, the atmosphere shifts to one of quiet reverence. Walnut wood pews line the nave, resting upon a simple white tiled floor, while soft hues of pearl and yellow filter through the stained glass windows, casting a muted glow across the interior. A line of green tiles, marked in recent years for distance and care, guides the eye forward along the nave, leading quietly toward the altar at the heart of the sanctuary. Parishioners move with quiet purpose, preparing for an upcoming event, and their presence lends the space a living, communal warmth. Wanting to remain respectful, I linger only briefly. As many will eagerly tell you, no visit to Salcoatitán is complete without tasting its beloved local specialty, yuca, traditionally prepared over wood fire, simple, rustic, and deeply rooted in the flavors of the land.
Everybody says when you come to Salcoatitán, you have to try the yuca because they do something different with their yuca. It's wood boiled or something like that, and then it's fried. The first one that she brought me out, it had meat on it, so I had to send it back, which I hate sending food back, but she just brought me something that doesn't have meat on it, and I'm going to eat it if this dog doesn't eat it first. But anyway, this is going to be the most authentic experience I have here.
You never really know how it's going to go when you send food back, and I only do it under very specific circumstances, like when a dish that is, for all intents and purposes, vegetarian, but unexpectedly comes with meat. Fortunately, she understood that I just wanted the yuca without the bonus cholesterol and brought me back something perfect. And honestly, I cannot believe how good this is.
I'm over here choking a little bit. That sauce, or I don't know, it's kind of like a salsa that they put on there, has got a kick to it. It's a good thing I like spicy, because somebody else, that would have caught them off guard and they'd be in trouble, but it's delicious. All the flavors mingled together perfectly. This is amazing. And it's right next to the church. So the yuca cost $2. I gave her $5 and said no change, no cambio, because I truly hate sending food back. I don't want to be that person.
Salcoatitán is not a place that demands attention. It invites it. In its quiet streets, beneath its painted walls, polished tiles, and blooming flowers, in the warmth of its people, and the simplicity of its traditions, something deeper reveals itself to those willing to slow down. Here, ancient belief and everyday life are not separate things. They move together, like roots beneath the surface, unseen, but ever present. The ceiba stands as a reminder of that truth, that there is more connecting this world than we often recognize. That history is not only something we study, but something we can feel. And that sometimes understanding does not come through language, but through stillness. In Salcoatitán, beauty is not curated. It is lived. It is found in the careful hands of artisans, in the quiet devotion of a church, in the bold flavors of a simple snack, and in the small, human moments that never make it into guidebooks. And perhaps that is the ceiba's greatest gift. Not something you can hold, but something you carry with you long after you leave. And now, it's time to continue the story of Atlakaki and find the next town where I'll stay the night. Into this land came Alejandro, Viscount of Altamira, a second son of Spanish nobility, hungry for power and praise. For his loyalty and violence, he was granted an encomienda, land already lived on, loved, and cultivated by Atlakaki's people. When he arrived at her village, he had a translator with him. His message conveyed fear and expected submission. But Atlakaki stood tall, robed in indigo, and crowned with braids of azure thread. She asked only that her people be allowed to remain on their ancestral land. Alejandro declared the land and all upon it belonged to him. Atlakaki replied, without lowering her gaze, "My people belong to no one." Alejandro raised his musket to strike her down, to make her an example. But before he could fire, the canopy above split with a scream. A giant harpy eagle descended, its wings casting shadows across the clearing. Alejandro's horse reared and threw him, and in the panic, his leg was crushed beneath the beast's hooves. Alejandro's men rushed to his side, their faces etched with fear as he writhed in agony, his body trembling, slick with sweat. His eyes fluttered, drifting in and out of consciousness, murmurs escaping his lips like fragments of a fading dream. Despite his violence, Atlakaki knelt beside him. "You need purple orchids," she said. "I know where they grow." Without another word, Atlakaki turned and began walking. The warriors hesitated only a moment before lifting their wounded leader and following. They traveled through dense forest and tangled underbrush until the trees parted, revealing a hidden glade untouched by time. Before them stretched a place of impossible beauty, a sanctuary beside a waterfall, where the air shimmered with golden light. The ground was blanketed in a river of amethyst, violet, and lavender blossoms, their petals swaying gently in the breeze that carried the scent of earth and eternity. The flowers glowed softly, as though lit from within, and strange birds sang in haunting, melodic tones from the sky above. In the center of it all, beneath the dappled light, they laid Alejandro down, the flowers cradling him. The men stopped in awe. Some dropped to their knees, praying and giving thanks. One whispered, "This cannot be real." Another made the sign of the cross, and muttered, "The Garden of Eden. We've found it." Atlakaki gathered the orchids, their violet throats still heavy with dew. In the shadow of a giant tree, she crushed the fragile petals, blending them in a clay bowl with golden balm and the thick, bitter tree sap. When the mixture hissed faintly, it was ready. As it touched Alejandro's mangled limb, it sent ribbons of steam curling into the air. His skin knit together by degrees, muscle threading itself with sinew beneath her practiced hands. They returned to the village, but the evil in Alejandro's spirit was so great that it resisted healing. Each day demanded Atlakaki's touch. Her focus, her essence poured into the wound. As she tried to help him, something deeper and darker began to fester in him. The silent, curling growth of obsession. The next town from Salcoatitán along the Ruta de las Flores is Juayúa, which means River of Purple Orchids in Nahuatl.
너의 맞닿은 입술이 떨어지고 쏟아지는 너의 깊은 우주 영원하지 않다는 말은 믿지 않을래 우리 비추는 별빛에 너와 내 눈을 맞추면 저 깊은 곳으로 빠져버릴 거야 Oh every day, every night 넘쳐 흘러버린 맘에 내 두 손을 꼭 잡아줬으면 해 조금만 더 맞춰줄래 이렇게 말은 하지 않아도 돼 지금 이 순간을 그려보는 거야
My first stop in Juayua is my apartment, which I was warned is on a main street, meaning I might be serenaded by nightlife all night long. So, naturally, I arrived prepared with a noise cancellation machine, like a seasoned traveler who has learned her lessons the hard way. First impressions? The owner wrote my name on a little whiteboard. My name. I've never felt so seen. I was like, oh, okay, we're family now. There's a small table for meals, which is adorable because it assumes I cook or eat like a responsible adult. There's also a spacious living area with a sofa and TV. But I didn't come to the flower route to watch Netflix. The place is full of colorful art, which I love. It feels vibrant, creative, and like someone made actual design choices instead of just saying, beige is safe. There's a big kitchen with an island. If I were the type of person who cooked, this would be my moment. But I'm not. So it will remain a beautiful, untouched museum exhibit. There are 2 bedrooms. One has a large bed, so clearly that's the winner. The other has 2 beds, which is great in case I suddenly develop a split personality or invite imaginary friends. Each room has a fan, but honestly, no AC needed. It's cool up here in the mountains. In fact, I'm very proud of myself for packing a heating blanket because tonight, I will be cozy. The bathroom is small but functional. The shower had hot water for about 1 minute, just enough time to feel hopeful before reality set in. There's also a space to wash and dry clothes, which I genuinely appreciate because I wash as I go. Overall, this place is cute, comfortable, has great Wi-Fi, and yes, I would absolutely stay here again. Link is in the description.
I have been told that there's an Asian restaurant here that serves some vegan food, mainly some tofu, and I could use some tofu in my life right now, so I'm gonna head that way.
Situated at the heart of the Ruta de las Flores, Juayúa stands as one of the region's most inviting destinations, offering an abundance of places to stay, dine, and explore. Perched at nearly 3,500 feet above sea level, the town enjoys a cool, refreshing climate that lends itself to slow wandering and lingering moments. Surrounded by verdant coffee plantations and mountain springs, Juayúa is rich in both natural beauty and cultural expression. The streets alive with colorful murals, blooming flowers, handcrafted goods, and a vibrant culinary scene. Home to roughly 25,000 residents, it is notably larger than Salcoatitán, yet retains a charm that feels intimate and approachable. At its center lies a lively Parque Central, where visitors are warmly, if enthusiastically, invited into nearby stores and restaurants, adding to the town's energetic rhythm. Facing the park stands the parish church of Santa Lucia, a quiet counterbalance to the bustle outside. During my first visit, a service was underway, and I found myself lingering for nearly an hour, listening to beautiful music in Spanish that I did not fully understand. Yet, somehow, it needed no translation. Some sounds, after all, transcend language. Out of respect, I chose not to film then and returned later, only to find yet another event happening. This time, I decided to just start filming and steer clear of the areas where people gathered. Just in front of the church stands a striking statue of the Black Christ upon the cross, a powerful and deeply venerated symbol that invites both devotion and quiet contemplation. Each year, Juayúa honors this sacred figure with a vibrant festival that transforms the town, an outpouring of faith and celebration marked by abundant food, richly colored attire, pyrotechnics, and the thunder of ceremonial cannon blasts. It is a moment when tradition and community converge, drawing people from near and far to take part in a living expression of reverence and joy. I sensed at once that this church would be different. The vivid red accents of its exterior offering an early hint of the richness within. Inside, the space unfolds with striking intensity. Effigies of saints occupy nearly every corner, their presence both watchful and reverent. Stained glass windows contain works of art, filtering light into a kaleidoscope of color, while chandeliers descend gracefully from above, illuminating the sanctuary with a warm, solemn glow. Even the black and white geometric pattern of the tiled floor commands attention, guiding the eye through the space with quiet precision. The site itself is steeped in history. During the colonial period, Juayúa became an important center for Franciscan priests, who established the first hermitage here toward the end of the 16th century. That modest structure was later replaced by a wooden neoclassical church, which was ultimately lost to fire. The present building, the third to stand on this ground, was completed in 1957, rising from the same sacred foundation. Today, it is celebrated for its remarkable architecture, widely regarded as one of the most beautiful churches in El Salvador, a place where history, artistry, and devotion converge in enduring splendor.
I have been to that church 4 times, and every single time there's been a service going on. I genuinely don't want to be rude. I never ever want to be rude, but I also feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't document how beautiful the church is.
Now it's getting cool and dark, which means it's finally time for food.
I ordered the General Tso's tofu. It looks and smells delicious. I also decided I was going to sit up here because the views are amazing, even though it is a bit chilly and it's getting chillier, so I need to eat quickly. I love that it also came with this hot, spicy sauce, so I'm told. So I'll be putting this all over everything. Well, I'll be the judge of whether or not it's actually spicy. That was perfect. I quite literally cleaned my plate except for the celery bits. It's right up there with lettuce and cucumber. But anyway, it is, if you could see the sight I'm seeing over the church, it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to turn the camera around, but it's getting progressively colder and windier, so I have to go.
So, what do you think about the Ruta de las Flores? Is it something special, or does it look like every other mountain pass in El Salvador? Or was it something special at some point, and now it's more of a tourist trap? Let me know in the comments. While you're at it, since you've made it this far in the video, please click the like button. It helps, more than you know.
Just FYI for the people who are night owls, this town is still very active. There's all kinds of whizzing going by in the street. Also, there are bars that don't close until 2 a.m. So if partying is your thing, this can be a party town for you if you want it to be. That's just not me. Not tonight. I would love more than anything just to get a good night's sleep. So this is where I leave you for part 1. There is a part 2. I still have 2 more towns to visit on the Ruta de las Flores. Also, I have to conclude Atlakaki's story, and trust me, you're going to want to see how this journey ends. And unless you are Salvadoran and you already know, trust me, it does not end the way you think it does. So, I will see you tomorrow.
Stay curious, be inspired, find freedom, wander elsewhere. I will see you in the next one.